All right, and we are live. All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is August 11th, 2020, and the first of a two-game set between the Atlanta Braves and New York Yankees. The Yankees return to the Bronx and give left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery the start this evening, while Touki Toussaint will begin the night on the mound for the visiting Braves. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Atlanta. Leading off in center field, Ronald Acuna Jr. Dansby Swanson will bat second, playing shortstop. Freddie Freeman, the left-handed first baseman, batting third. Marcell Ozuna, your right fielder this afternoon, cleaning up for the Atlanta Braves in the fourth spot. Travis d'Arnaud is your DH. He will bat fifth. Adam Duvall, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Austin Riley at the hot corner, batting seventh. Tyler Flowers behind the dish, batting eighth. And Johan Camargo evening out this lineup, batting ninth, starting at second base. Hello to everyone in the stream currently. I'm excited. Atlanta Braves versus the New York Yankees. It's going to be a fun one. Touki Toussaint against Jordan Montgomery. This game is just a few moments underway. I am currently recording with my laptop. I have my webcam in my laptop, and I have my mic with me. I'm excited. I am ready to go. This is a very fun matchup. The Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees, two of the better teams in Major League Baseball. I'm not saying the best, but definitely two of the powerful teams from top to bottom, 1-9 offensively. Their pitching is pretty good. Overall, it's going to be a fun game to watch. Now, the New York Yankees had a lot of redeeming to do. Last week was not their week as they dropped majority of the games that they played, including their most recent series against division rival Tampa Bay Rays. They won one game, losing 3 in that set, and that is huge. That is why the Yankees are only a game and a half above the Tampa Bay Rays currently in the AL East division. The New York Yankees are in the Bronx taking on the visiting Atlanta Braves. It's going to be a close one today. I don't know for sure who's going to win. I mean, no one does. But Touki Toussaint, Jordan Montgomery, two fairly young starting pitchers. With that being said, let's take a look at Jordan Montgomery's numbers on the season. The 6'6" left-handed starting pitcher for New York has pitched in 2 games. He's recorded a 1-1 record with a 5.59 ERA in 9 2/3 innings, striking out 6 and a 1.34 WHIP. In a career's 39 games, he has won 12, lost 8, has a 3.99 ERA in 196 1/3 innings with 178 strikeouts and a 1.26 WHIP. Now, Jordan Montgomery looked very good in summer camp and in his first game where he started against the Boston Red Sox. He pitched against the Phillies in part of that set earlier last week, and he gave up 5 runs, did not look that great, did not have command of his pitches. So tonight, he's going to have to be aggressive and see how he can do on the mound. Of course, the New York Yankees have a lot of work to do. They have lost a lot of the momentum that they had the first week or so in the season, but they are currently undefeated at home to start 2020. Let's see if they can push that streak and continue that going tonight. So here we are, a very strong lineup for the Atlanta Braves and for the New York Yankees as well. Again, your Braves 1-9, Ronald Acuna Jr., Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman, Marcell Ozuna, Travis d'Arnaud, Adam Duvall, Austin Riley, Tyler Flowers, and Johan Camargo. Touki Toussaint will start for Atlanta, and we are just moments away from the first pitch of the ballgame. Jordan Montgomery, a quick pitcher's report here, is 27 years old, graduated from South Carolina College, and was the 4th round 112 overall pick in the 2014 draft, and he was drafted by the New York Yankees. He debuted on April 12th, 2017, and the opposing starting pitcher is 24. Touki Toussaint was drafted 1st round 16th overall pick in 2014, the same draft class as Jordan Montgomery, but this time Touki was selected by the Arizona Diamondbacks. He made his debut on August 13th, 2018, so just about 2 years ago to the day. And Touki, in 3 games so far this season, has not recorded a win or a loss, but has put up a 6.08 ERA in 13 1/3 innings with 20 strikeouts and a 1.20 WHIP. Again, looking for his first win of the season tonight against the New York Yankees. In 34 career games, Touki has a 6-1 record with a 5.14 ERA in 84 innings, 97 strikeouts, and a 1.49 WHIP. That is your starting matchup tonight. For the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees, Touki Toussaint, the right-handed starting pitcher, and Jordan Montgomery, the left-handed 6'6" for the New York Yankees. So it's going to be a really fun matchup. I can't say that enough here. The Yankees and Braves, again, a nice group, a nice matchup here. Both have very strong teams. And we've got some news for the New York Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton has gone down with a grade 1 hamstring strain, and this is a story we have heard many times before. The Yankees have been a pretty injury-prone team last year especially. Then you had guys like Giovanni Urshela come up. He was not supposed to be a starter, but he found himself in the starting lineup every day, performed to a very high level, and has kept his starting spot as the third baseman for the New York Yankees all the way up until 2020, where he continues to rake. So Stanton with the grade 1 hamstring strain that typically includes a 3 to 4 week recovery time frame. So at the moment, Stanton is down on the IL, and earlier today, the New York Yankees recalled outfielder Clint Frazier. Now, Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees have had a lot of great things to say about Clint. He has gotten better as a person, as a fielder, and just overall, he is a great young player for almost any other Major League Baseball team. Clint Frazier would be a starter. The New York Yankees have a lot of depth to their roster, no matter where they are, outfield, infield, what have you. They have a lot of guys with a lot of talent. Clint Frazier looks to get his first real playing time of the season, maybe tomorrow night, as he is not in the lineup today against the right-handed Touki Toussaint of the Braves. So we have a lot going here. Again, the New York Yankees are undefeated at home so far this season. They look to continue that today. The Atlanta Braves like to stop that streak at all costs, as they are pretty closely followed by the Miami Marlins, who are first in the NL East division. Now, ask me at the start of the season if I thought the Marlins would be atop of teams like the Nationals and the Mets and be tied with the Braves. I'd say you're silly. Like, you're crazy for that. Like, there's no way the Marlins would be up there. But yes, they are 7-3 with a 700 win percentage. That just span of time where they did not play because of so many players testing positive either was really good for them or really bad, because of course you have a lot of guys who lost playing time, but they came back from it, and they are one of the best teams in the division. So the Miami Marlins look to see if they can maybe continue that and keep that up for the remainder of the season, maybe find themselves in a postseason spot. With the expanded bracket this year, 16 teams make it to the postseason, 8 from the American League, 8 from the National League, and that leaves a lot of room for teams to make it in just by a hair. They have to win a few more games than the 4th place, and they could be in. Even if they're a 3rd place team in the division, they could have a spot come September 29th. Jordan Montgomery is on the mound warming up, taking his last few pitches here before the game is to begin. Again, Jordan on the season in 2 games is 1-1. He owns a 5.59 ERA in 9 2/3 innings, striking out 6 batters and owning a 1.34 WHIP in 2020. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees defense. Going from left to right in the outfield, Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, and Aaron Judge. Giovanni Urshela at the hot corner, starting at third base, and Gleyber Torres, your shortstop. The other middle infield being TJ LeMahieu, and Luke Voight will be doing the first base duties this evening for New York. Jordan Montgomery on the mound, Gary Sanchez behind the plate, and Mike Ford, your designated hitter. Dansby Swanson is getting ready to step in here. So there was a lineup change. Let's see if that means Ronald Acuna Jr. is out of the game, because initially the lineup was supposed to be Acuna and Swanson. We'll take a look here for the Braves. So the new lineup for the Atlanta Braves is Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud, Freddie Freeman, Marcelo Zuna, Adam Duvall, Yohan Camarillo, Austin Riley, Flowers, and Ender Inciarte in center. So Ronald Acuna Jr. scratched from this game. That must have been just a few moments ago. Acuna no longer in this ballgame. Dansby Swanson has a 1-1 count to him here in the top of the first. That one's going to miss down, ball 2, and Jordan Montgomery falls behind early in the count. So Dansby Swanson is batting leadoff. And the 2-1 is right down the middle, fouled back by the shortstop, making it count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So far this season, Dansby has 66 at-bats, hitting .273, with 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a .748 on-base plus slugging. Now, something to look at here for the Atlanta Braves is that they have had a lot of guys producing to a very solid extent. The New York Yankees, on the flip side of things, I've had a lot of great performers, just some guys have outshined the others. The Braves have had a pretty even lineup, a lot of guys bringing in runs, hitting homers, and doing well at the plate. Dansby Swanson going to ground out to DJ LeMahieu, who is sitting behind second base for the shift. It is a 4-3 putout, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. Jordan Montgomery has officially gotten the first out of the ballgame. Travis d'Arnaud now catching, no longer the designated hitter. He played with the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Tampa Bay Rays last season, all in parts. And the first pitch he sees is going to be a curveball just high by the home plate umpire's perspective, so that's going to be ball 1. d'Arnaud in 30 at-bats is hitting .400 with 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, a stolen base, and a 1.140 on-base percentage. On-base plus slugging, rather, so far this season. That's going to be pitched down and away in the zone for called strike 1, and Travis d'Arnaud has got himself at a count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jordan Montgomery, number 47, with the delivery. d'Arnaud checks his swing. The first base umpire says he does not go around, make it 2 balls and a strike, so Montgomery up to 8 pitches here. It's too soon to say how he's looking on the mound. He definitely looks like he is attacking the zone, but he is missing his spots, so his command is not quite there just yet. He gets a big swing and miss from Travis d'Arnaud on an 85-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch at the knees, right over the plate. 2-2 now to d'Arnaud. And I'm going to go ahead and write down the new lineup for the Braves. It's a wave and miss, and Travis d'Arnaud strikes out swinging. Make it 2 outs to get this game going. Monty, through 10 pitches, has recorded 2 outs. And again, he's not looking too bad off the start here. You know, he's got a pretty good jump, other than the pitch count being a little bit high, but that is, of course, to be expected. The New York Yankees really want to see at least 5 innings out of Jordan Montgomery. He's gotten just about to that point in both of his first 2 starts of the season. I believe he went just a little over 5 innings pitched against the Red Sox in his initial debut this year. So here we go. Swanson, d'Arnaud, Freeman, Ozuna, Duvall, Camargo, Riley, Flowers, and Inciarte is the new lineup. Again, Ronald Acuna Jr. Scratched from the lineup, I guess, just moments before game time. The 1-1 to Freddie Freeman, a curveball inside. He's going to pop it up to the infield. Gleyber Torres with the shift is a little bit to the left of second base on the right field grass, and he will make the catch. So it's a pop-up to short to end the inning, and Jordan Montgomery works a 1-2-3 inning. No runs on no hits for the Atlanta Braves, and that'll get things going for the Yankees offensively in the bottom half of the first. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting lineup. DJ LeMahieu leading it off, starting at second base for the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge batting second. The right-handed right fielder will be starting in right this evening. Aaron Hicks, the switch-hitting center fielder, batting third. Luke Voight cleaning up and starting at first base. Gleyber Torres will bat fifth. Mike Voight, your designated hitter, batting sixth. Gio Urshela, the third baseman, batting seventh. Gary Sanchez behind the dish, batting eighth. And the left-handed hitter, left fielder, Brett Gardner, batting ninth. Now, Touki Toussaint for the Atlanta Braves is a right-handed starter, clocking in at 6'3", 215 pounds. He has pitched in 3 games this season and has had a no decision in each of his first 3 starts. He has not gotten a win or a loss to this point, but has earned himself a 6.08 ERA in 13 1/3 innings pitched with 20 strikeouts, a 1.2 whip, and in his career has pitched in 34 games, a 6-1 record, 5.14 ERA in 84 innings with 97 strikeouts and a 1.49 whip. He has thrown his warm-up pitches here to Travis d'Arnaud. Now, d'Arnaud has looked very hot for the Atlanta Braves. I actually made a note today going into this game that he has definitely got to look out for offensively. He has exploded. Again, last season he played with multiple teams in 2019. And again, that is the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Rays all in 2019. He finds himself with the Atlanta Braves in the shortened 2020 season, but has done very well getting used to hitting in a Braves uniform and defensively as well. He started off the season hurt, I believe. He is back in now and has been a force to be reckoned with both behind the dish and in the batter's box himself. Touki Toussaint is ready to get this game underway. DJ LeMahieu is in the batter's box, and he is hitting .397 with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a .944 OPS and 58 at-bats coming into tonight's game. DJ was amazing in his first season with New York in 2019. He has carried that over in 2020 and has been a great hitter. He hits for contact, the occasional power, and gets on base frequently. The first pitch he sees is a fastball up and in, deemed a strike by the home plate umpire, and he falls behind 0-1. Touki again made his debut August 13th, 2018, so he's had about 2 years of Major League Baseball experience in his career. And the second pitch to DJ is going to be outside, and again, a called strike. So the second baseman down on the count 0-2. Number 62, the right-handed starting pitcher for the Braves tonight, with the delivery. Fastball clocking in at 97 miles per hour. We're going to miss just a bit outside. 1-2. Now, DJ LeMahieu's nickname is Big Fundy. And if there was a full season, we probably would have saw the Players Weekend jerseys, which is always fun. It's been a recurring occurrence the past 2 seasons. And that is essentially when players get to make their nicknames. They have newly styled, fresh uniforms. That is for all 30 teams across Major League Baseball. Last year, half the league had all black jerseys, half the league sported white jerseys. And they honestly looked really nice in my opinion. Much like the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby, I don't think that will be an event that takes place in the shortened 60-game season this year. DJ LeMahieu with the off-speed pitch will line it out into left. It'll one-hop to the left fielder, and he's got himself a leadoff single. So that'll bring the average up to just about 400, probably a little bit higher. For DJ, he stands on first for Aaron Judge. Now, Judge is tied for first in all of Major League Baseball with 8 home runs. The young shortstop of the San Diego Padres is tied with him for first with 8 homers on the season. He's batting .283 with 19 RBIs, 8 home runs, a 1.045 OPS, and 60 at-bats so far this season. The 0-1 to him, he lines down the left field line, but just foul to make it 0-2. Again, DJ LeMahieu standing on first. Aaron Judge now with an 0-2 count, and he is behind. Now, the Yankees started the season off 8-1 in their first 9 games. The last 7 that they've played, they've won 2 and lost 5. They averaged just 4 runs a game in those last 7 appearances. And their ERA has been a little higher from both their starting pitching and their bullpen in those said games. Now, the 0-2 to Aaron Judge from Touki is going to be an off-speed pitch down and away in the other batter's box, 87 miles per hour, ball 1. Aaron Hicks on deck. And we'll see what happens here to number 99. Can he make everyone rise for the 9th time this season? He puts that one in play at 95 miles per hour, fastball down and away, lines it to Marcell Ozuna just shy of the warning track, and that is going to be the first out for Touki Toussaint. So it's a line out to right, 1 away, run around first for the New York Yankees, and that'll bring up Aaron Hicks. In 38 at-bats, he's hitting .211 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, no stolen bases, and a .756 OPS. He was a first-round draft pick by the Minnesota Twins back in 2008. And so far this season, he has not done too much at the plate. He has been about average, maybe a little less than that in the outfield. But when he performs, he comes in clutch. Aaron Hicks, a switch-hitting outfielder. And tonight, he will bat left-handed to lead things off against the righty Touki Toussaint. He puts a bunt down, and Touki will have a wild throw over to the first baseman, Freddie Freeman. That'll allow DJ LeMahieu to get to third. So it's a sac bunt. DJ will make it over to third base. He is 90 feet away from scoring. So I'm going to say that is an error on Touki. The throw was very wide to the right of Freddie Freeman. when you're looking out to Freddie Freeman's left, almost actually hits Aaron Hicks as he's hustling down the first baseline. He gets a good job. He's hustling down to first, so he will be safe. And E1 will let him get to first. And DJ LeMahieu advances 2 bases on the sac bunt and the wild throw from the Braves starting pitcher. Runners at the corners, 1 away for the cleanup batter, Luke Voight. He's starting things off tonight at first base. In 43 at-bats, he's hitting .256 with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, no stolen bases, and an .854 OPS. Now, those 4 home runs are second for the team in tonight's lineup, of course, behind Aaron Judge, who has 8. Brett Gardner with 3 home runs on the season. He is third for the Yankees team in home runs this season. Threatening earlier, the New York Yankees. That's a curveball down and away, deemed a strike by the home plate umpire, and the count's 1-1 to the first baseman. Now, Aaron Hicks looked like he was going to go ahead and try to steal second, but he returned to first with the pitch. And it's a 1-1 count now for Luke. Driven out to left field, and it's a no-doubt home run for Luke Voight out to the left field second row. There we go. That's home run number 5 for Luke Voight on the season. DJ LeMahieu with the leadoff single. Aaron Hicks with the sac bunt that he reaches on via an error. And Luke Voight, the cleanup batter, with a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first. The Yankees are off to a hot start here. So it is a 3-run home run for Luke Voight. And I kind of was at a loss of words when he hit that. I was admiring it. He pimped it. He stared down the ball before he took a few steps. But that is out to the benches in left field. Not the second row, the second deck, if anything. But a no-doubt 3-run home run to the benches out in left field. Luke Voight, a bases-clearing homer in the bottom of the first. That puts the Yankees up 3-0 very quickly, and that is a great start for New York offensively. Gleyber Torres swings on a changeup, 87 miles per hour, knee-high, right down the middle. The 1-0 count will then advance to a pop-out to Johan Camargo. So pop-out there, and that is 2 away for the New York Yankees offense. Luke Voight just got all of that baseball. He hit it well. He admired it. He knew it was gone off the bat. And that gives the Yankees a really nice 3-run lead. Also, if you're Jordan Montgomery, you have a nice sense of a lead here. You know that you can feel a little more comfortable on the mound, and that's big because Jordan Montgomery, if he can really come in and perform like how he did in the first game of the season for him against the Red Sox, shut down the opponents, he's going to be a top starter for the New York Yankees, which is necessary. Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka, Jordan Montgomery. You have Happen Paxton as well. I mean, the rotation has looked a little bit better with the New York Yankees signing their white whale, Garrett Cole. But still, the starting lineup is not at what it needs to be, in my opinion, to really feel comfortable this early on in the season. The 1-1 now to Mike Ford. He's the DH tonight. Left-handed batter against the right-handed Touki Toussaint. He'll check his swing. It'll be a strike. The third base umpire says he goes around. 1-2 count now to Mike Ford. He's struggling a little bit here as well. 18 at-bats, a 167 average with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and a 571 on-base plus slugging. The 1-2, and that's going to be a curveball down and in. Counts even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for the Atlanta Braves right-handed starter. On deck is Giovanni Urshela. And the 2-2 from Touki is a curveball down the heart of the plate. Mike Ford gets on top of it, dribbles it over to second, and that'll be a ground out there. So 4-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. 3 runs on 2 hits for the New York Yankees here in the bottom of the first. Their offense explodes early on, and let's see if they can maintain that lead for the rest of the game here to come. Now, 2 up in the top half of the second inning, Marcell Ozuna, Duvall, and Johan Camargo will all be on deck or at the plate some point or another. in the away half of the second inning. Now, Marcell Ozuna was signed by the Atlanta Braves going into this season. He has done pretty well for them. His initial series, his first week in a Braves uniform, went very well, and so far since, in 61 at-bats so far this season, he's hitting .262 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, no stolen bases, and an .845 OPS. They have Ozuna, Duvall, and Camargo. The Braves have a really nice starting lineup, but we do see a few guys not in today. Ozzy Albies is scratched. Ronald Acuna Jr. not in the lineup like he was supposed to be when the lineup cards were initially released. And we will see if the Braves can bounce back from the 3-win deficit they find themselves in very early on. Again, Ozuna, Duvall, and Camargo will all be up in the away half of the second. Now let's take a quick look here and let me update you with scores around the league in Major League Baseball. The Yankees, of course, lead the Braves by a score of 3-0. In the bottom of the third, the Marlins are ahead of the Blue Jays by a score of 1-0. The Nationals currently ahead of the Mets, 1-0 in the bottom of the first. The Reds lead the Royals in the bottom half of the second by a score of 2-0. The Phillies and Orioles are tied at no runs apiece, and so are the Indians and Cubs. They are tied 0-0 in the bottom of the first. The White Sox off to a quick lead ahead of the Tigers, 4-0 in the bottom half of the first inning. And every other game has yet to start. But the scores around Major League Baseball are here, and we'll do that for you guys every inning or so to kind of update you, see how every other team is doing in the league if they are currently playing, and how the scores are being presented. So here we are. The first pitch from Jordan Montgomery to Marcell Ozuna is a ball. Now Ozuna is the big bear, again hitting .262 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs this season. He's got a lot of pop in his bat and was a big offseason acquisition for the Atlanta Braves, who recently lost third baseman Josh Donaldson via free agency. He went over to the Minnesota Twins, signed a 4-year contract just north of $90 million. And, of course, the bats aren't exactly similar. I think he had a lot more power with Josh Donaldson, the former MVP. But Marcell Ozuna does have a nice bat to add to the heart of the order. The 1-2 here, he pokes it the other way. Right fielder Aaron Judge will get to it, and that'll be a leadoff double for the right fielder Marcell Ozuna. So there you have it. It is a leadoff double, and that'll bring up Adam Duvall. 32 at-bats for Duvall, hitting .281 with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, no stolen bases, and an .865 OPS. Marcell Ozuna turned the other way on a ball up and away in the zone. That looked to be a good pitch from Jordan Montgomery. Just Marcell Ozuna came with the upper hand and got the extra base hit. We'll see how he approaches the at-bat here to the outfielder for Atlanta. He's played in 17 games, starting in left field this evening. Monty's pitch is a changeup down and in, called strike 1 at 83 miles an hour. Marcell Ozuna with the first hit for the Atlanta Braves of the game. A runner in scoring position with no outs. The Braves are threatening early to try to tack on some runs that they lost in the bottom half of the first. Duvall fouled on back, and that's an 0-2 count now. Monty with a strikeout here, or just retiring Duvall in any sense, would be a huge out. Hopefully he can maintain Marcell Ozuna's stance at second and leave the runner in scoring position here. The Braves are second for most runs a game on average with 5.3. Now, the Yankees are 9th in the league. They average about 4.9 runs a game. And the Rockies are first in Major League Baseball, 5.5 runs on average per game. And the Rockies also find themselves first in their respective division. And that was not something I was expecting either. The Marlins and the Rockies, 2 teams to really be shocked by in a good way. And then you have teams like the Houston Astros who are not doing so well. And the Oakland Athletics, off to a hot start, currently lead the AL West. They went on a crazy tear, I believe a 9-game win streak. And that came to an end yesterday as the Angels came out on top. Mike Trout with a pair of home runs. The 0-2 from Jordan Montgomery. It's going to be grounded back to the pitcher. He'll underhand it over to Luke Voight. The out will be made, but Marcell Ozuna will advance to third. So it is a 1-3 put out for Adam Duvall. Ozuna just 90 feet away from the first run of the ballgame for the Atlanta Braves. That'll bring up Johan Camargo starting at second base. The switch hitting batter will hit right-handed in this first at-bat here with the left-handed Monty starting for the New York Yankees. Now Camargo has hit 182 through 44 at-bats with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a 6.14 OPS. So Aaron Judge, he'll make the catch easily. The throw home will prevent Marcell Ozuna from advancing, and he kind of looks out to Judge like, hey, come on now. That was a spot-on throw from Aaron Judge. We know that number 99 has a great arm and great accuracy with his throws. He gets behind it, crow hops, and it's a line drive to Gary Sanchez. Marcell Ozuna will be forced to stay at third with the line out to right, 2 away now, and Monty could work himself out of what could have been early inning danger now. So 2 outs, Marcell Ozuna on third, and that looks to bring up Austin Riley. Now, Riley is starting at third base. He's fairly new to the game, and his nickname is Ocho, number 8. In 42 at-bats, he's hitting 167 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 6.39 OPS. First pitch to him is a ball. The second pitch he sees, he'll pop up. DJ LeMahieu right on the edge of the infield dirt, and he'll make the catch. So it's a pop out to second to end the inning, and Jordan Montgomery works out of what could have been potential danger early on. It's a leadoff double for Marcell Ozuna. He gets stranded at third. No runs on 1 hit for the Atlanta Braves lineup, and we'll flip things over to the New York Yankees for the bottom half of the second inning. Gio Urshela, Gary Sanchez, and Brett Gardner will all see at-bats here in the home half of the second. Gio, Gary, Gardner, a really nice bottom third of the lineup. Giovanni Urshela has performed very well so far. He has kind of brought over exactly what he did in 2019, hitting for good average with the occasional home run, and he's bringing in lots of runs, 13 RBIs with a trio of homers and a 3.13 average going into this evening's game. Now, Gary Sanchez, on the other hand, has not been so lucky, only hitting 103 with 39 at-bats for him in the shortened 2020, and he's looking to break out of his slump soon. Now, that's also something I wrote down here for tonight's game notes. The New York Yankees have had a lot of production from a handful of guys, but the guys who have been performing well are stuck in a slump, and that includes guys like Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez who look to break out of their funk, hopefully within the next few games, because that is going to be important. Come the postseason, Gleyber Torres, Gary Sanchez, and everyone in the Yankees lineup is going to have to perform to their highest extent, especially when you're missing a bat like Giancarlo Stanton, who got off to a very hot start in 2020, homered in the first game of the year, had a handful of home runs before he got injured again with that grade 1 hamstring strain that was diagnosed in the second game of the Tampa Bay Rays doubleheader last week. So DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, Luke Voight, Gleyber Torres, Mike Ford, Gio Urshela, Gary Sanchez, and Brett Gardner, your 1-9 starting lineup for the New York Yankees here. Going into the bottom of the second, the Yankees have a 3-run lead over the visiting Atlanta Braves, who did not score any runs on just 1 hit through their first 6 outs offensively. And Gio Urshela steps into the batter's box to start the second half of the second inning. Fastball up and in, called for a ball, and it'll be 1-0 to Gio. Now, Urshela broke out with the New York Yankees. He was acquired via a trade with the Toronto Blue Jays back in, I believe, August of 2018, and he's going to ground this one over to Austin Riley. He'll make a good throw over to Freddie Freeman in time for the out, and it's a 5-3 ground. That's the first out of the inning. So with 1 away, that'll bring up Gary Sanchez. Has just a few hits so far this season in 39 at-bats, hitting 103 with with 1 single home run 3 RBIs, and a 427 OPS. Again, Gary Sanchez is a guy who really has to perform to a higher extent. A lot more is expected of him from the New York Yankees, especially with backup catcher Kyle Higashioka down because of injury. Gary Sanchez, a 103 average through the first 15 games, 16 games, just around that point. And the first pitch to him is going to be a called strike. Tukey has thrown 22 pitches in 1 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs and 2 hits. The Yankees backs up a wave and a miss at another curveball down in the zone. He'll be down 0-2 in the count. And on deck is the left-handed left fielder, my personal favorite player on the team, Brett Gardner. Let's see if we can get a release the Kraken from Gary Sanchez here for just the second time this season. The 0-2. Another curveball down and away. That one's going to miss for ball 1 of the at-bat. Now, both Touki Toussaint and Jordan Montgomery are fairly young starting pitchers this evening. Touki just 24 years old, Jordan Montgomery 27. And Gary Sanchez will foul back the fastball up and away. The count remains 1-2. And again, both were selected and drafted in 2014. Touki round 1, pick 16 by the Diamondbacks. Jordan round 4, pick 112 by the New York Yankees. Jordan Montgomery with just about a year and a half more of Major League Baseball career time so far. And another ball that'll be fouled away from Gary Sanchez. He keeps the count alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Gary's batting 8th tonight. Brett Gardner will round out the lineup batting 9th. Then, assuming we get that far, DJ LeMahieu will bat leadoff, and he may come up again here in the second. A curveball down in the dirt. Gary Sanchez somehow gets a piece of it, and it's a battle right now. Who is going to get the upper hand here? Will it be the Braves pitcher or the New York Yankees catcher? We'll see. Again, the count is 1-2 with 1 out in the bottom half of the second to Gary Sanchez. Brian Snitker and Aaron Boone, your managers for the Braves and Yankees respectively. Gary Sanchez with yet another foul ball. So a long at bat here. Who is going to give in first? Urshela, the first and only out of the half inning so far, as he grounded out to third base. Austin Riley with a good throw over to Freddie Freeman, and that was good for the first out. 1-2. A curveball down in the dirt. Gary thinks about it, but checks his swing in time. Counts even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to number 24. The 2-2. Another foul ball, 85-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. Gary Sanchez, this is a good at-bat from him right here. 9 pitches between Touki and Gary in this at-bat. I mean, you're definitely going to wear him down a little bit. Gary Sanchez is just waiting for a mistake now. This is pitch number 10. Another foul ball. And the at-bat will continue. We'll see here Gary Sanchez, what he will do. Brett Gardner due up next. .31 pitches for the Braves, right-handed starting pitcher. And timeout will be called. Here we are. Gary steps back into the box. Touki's ready. And the pitch put in play. It's going to deflect off Touki Toussaint's foot. Austin Riley will get to the ball and make the throw in time. So it's going to be another ground out. I'm going to say 1-5-3. It deflected off Touki Toussaint's foot right there. And it looks like he will come up on top and retire Gary Sanchez. So 2 outs both being ground outs over to third base. We'll see if Touki Toussaint is okay. And there you have it. So that was an interesting play there. Looks like the trainer coming to visit him. Tyler Flowers is the catcher tonight. He's on the mound, making sure they're okay. And Touki's just going to walk it off, take a few steps back. Gary Sanchez. It lined right off of Touki Toussaint's foot. Luckily, it kind of just deflected right over to Riley, and he was able to get there and make the throw in time. Gary Sanchez, of course, is not the quickest on his feet, so the throw beats him over to first base, and it hits his left foot. That'll bring up the number 9 batter, Brett Gardner. He'll take fastball strike one on the outer third of the plate. And Brett Gardner is the longest tenured active New York Yankee on the team. He made his debut with the organization back in 2008 and has played with them ever since. He's won the World Series in 2009, looking to get back there this season, of course, and maybe win his second ring in pinstripes. The fastball down the middle, called strike 2. And Gardner down in the count early on here. Pitch number 35 on the evening is going to be up. Just about at the Nike symbol in the jersey, so an easy take there for Brett Gardner. It's going to be 1-2. 2 outs, no one on base, bottom of the second. Yankees lead 3-0. And the 1-2. The curveball down and in, fouled back by Brett Gardner and out of play. The count will remain at 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the Braves already have Bryce Wilson, right-handed pitcher, right-handed reliever, warming up in the bullpen. So we'll see how many innings they get out of their starting pitcher, Touki Toussaint, this evening. The 1-2 from Brett. Each of his first 3 hits were home runs, one being an Oppo Taco to left field. Hit the ball very well. He just got over the wall, but it was a big home run for the New York Yankees. His first 3 hits were home runs and has yet to get one since. In 34 at-bats, he's hitting .206 with a trio of homers, 5 RBIs, and a .790 OPS. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Gardner will line it back up the middle because of the shift. Dansby Swanson is there right behind second, and the throw is made in time. So there you have it. A 6-3 ground out, no runs on no hits for the New York Yankees. Touki Toussaint goes from giving up a 3-run homer in the first to retiring the side in the bottom half of the second. And we'll head to the top of the third now, see if the Braves can get anything going. Tyler Flowers, Ender Inciarte, and Dansby Swanson all due up here. So to start the top of the second, Marcell Ozuna had a leadoff double. He did get to third, but no further than that, as there were outs, a grounder back to Jordan Montgomery, a line out to Aaron Judge, and a pop out to DJ LeMahieu. Those were the next 3 batters. Ozuna did not score for the Braves, looking for their first run of the ball game. Let's take you through the NL East and AL East division standings. Here, the Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves, both at first. In the NL East, the Marlins are 7-3 with a .700 win percentage. The Braves are 11-7 with a .611 win percentage. Now, of course, there's obviously a differential in games played. The Marlins playing 10, the Braves with 18 games into the season so far. That's a big difference maker right there. That is why both are tied for first. Then you have the Philadelphia Phillies in third. They are 5-6 on the season with a .455 win percentage, and they're 2.5 games back at first. The Nationals, 5-7 win-loss record, a .417 win percentage, 3 games back at first. And the New York Mets at the bottom of the division, 7 wins, 10 losses this season, a .412 win percentage, and they're 3.5 games back. So for the most part, it's a pretty close division. Really, any of the 3 bottom teams just have to go on a nice win streak, and they can easily find themselves close to the top of the division there. In the AL East, it's tight as well. The New York Yankees, the division leaders at the moment, a 10-6 win-loss record. It's a .625 win percentage. The Rays are 9-8, just 1 game over 500, .529 win percentage precisely, and a game and a half behind New York. The Baltimore Orioles are 7-7, 2 games back of first. The Blue Jays winning 5 and losing 8 to this point, find themselves fourth in the AL East, 3.5 games back of the Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox at the bottom of the division as well, 6-10, a .375 win percentage, and 4 games behind for first. The first pitch of Tyler Flowers is a ball, and the next one he sees, fastball in on the black, he'll foul back, 1 ball and 1 strike to the catcher tonight for the Atlanta Braves. Now again, it is Flowers, Inciarte, and Acuna Jr. Now my notes are a little messed up, and so is my book because of the last-minute lineup change. Now I'm going to have to go ahead and look and see if Ronald Acuna Jr. was scratched because of injury, because he wasn't feeling well, or what the case is on that. But Flowers will get another ball that he fouls back here. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Monty's looked good to this point, only allowed 1 hit through the 6 outs he has gotten. 1 strikeout. That was back in the first inning. And that was a good off-speed pitch right at the knees. Should have been a strike, but the umpire thought it was a little low, apparently. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. And it looked like the left-handed pitcher wanted the call there. It looked very good. And now curveball is going to miss down and in, make it a full count to Flowers. And a fastball up and away on the black. A good pitch. Deemed ball 4, but that looked very close. So Tyler Flowers works the leadoff walk here. I think Montgomery really should have struck him out twice. Those were 2 really good pitches the umpire does not give him. And that's rough, but at least now you know going forward that anything relatively close to being a ball, even if it's in the zone, probably won't be called, which is unfortunate. Montgomery looked to have really good command. He got the ball where he wanted it, located well. The umpire was not on his side there. Oh my goodness. That was an interesting play here. It's times like this where I wish I could show the game, but of course, there's a copyright reasons I can't. Now, Ender Inciarte grounds it to Gio Urshela, and he throws over to second base, but no one is covering the bag. You can see he double clutches, waiting for someone to cover. He throws over to DJ LeMahieu, who just never gets to second. Tyler Flowers kind of falls after hitting second, isn't on the bag, gets back in time before the throws to Glaber, who applies the tag. He saves it second, and then Inciarte save it first. So I would assume that's an error on behalf of Giovanni Urshela, and that is not how you want to start this inning. A walk and then an error there. E5. That would have been a double play ball. I don't know why no one was covering. This is going to be a pass ball from Gary Sanchez. And Flowers is going to get to third safely. The throw pulls Gio Urshela off the bag. And just defensively, the Yankees are all over the place here in the third. That was a pitch down in the dirt in front of the zone. Gary Sanchez does not keep it in front of him. It gets to his left, and Flowers gets a good jump, makes it over to third. The throw should have been in time. Urshela has to lunge to his left to get off third base, and Flowers at that point is already in. So Flowers at third, remind you, he walks to lead off the inning. And then Ender Inciarte, a grounder to Gio Urshela, threw over to second. No one was covering the bag. So save it second, save it first. Now a wild pitch. So that's not an error. It's a wild pitch will advance the catcher from second to third. Runners at the corners, no outs, and a 2-0 count to Dansby Swanson. So Montgomery and the Yankees could potentially be in some trouble here. Now, granted, they do have a 3-run lead, but with runners at first and third and nobody out, you do have to hope that Montgomery can kind of work the count here, get some strikeouts or a ground ball that'll induce a double play. That's the first called strike of the at-bat. Clocked in at 89 miles per hour. That was up and in. And the shortstop will be ahead 2-1. Let's see what the attack is here on this pitch. Monty Gets a pop-up from Dansby Swanson right behind the infield grass is DJ LeMahieu. That's another pop-up, just very shallow infield grass. DJ LeMahieu there, and that is a huge out. If you are Jordan Montgomery, that is a big sigh of relief because now a double play gets you out of the inning, hopefully. And there is one away. So this has been an interesting inning for the Yankees defensively. But Jordan Montgomery has the potential to work out of trouble again. Let me bring up Travis d'Arnaud, who I mentioned early on is someone to watch out for. He's going to be very good. He hits well with runners on base. Going into tonight, he had 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a 1.140 OPS, as well as a 400 average in 30 at-bats. The curveball inside is deemed a strike by the home plate umpire, and he's down on the count 0-1. Now, he struck out in the first inning his first time up, and with that strikeout, he's hitting .387 on the season. In a game against the Mets a little while back, he had a huge hit with bases loaded that helped the Braves come back and end up winning the game, I believe, against New York. He's going to foul that one back. 0-2 now to the Braves backstop. Top of the third, Yankees up 3-0. Runner on third, runner on first, 1 away. Here, Montgomery, you're either looking for the strikeout or the double play ball. And d'Arnaud's going to call time. He'll step out. Monty will go take a break as well, just to kind of step off the mound and regain himself here. And here we go, the 0-2 from the left-handed Yankee starter. That's going to miss down and off speed. Make it 1 ball and 2 strikes now. On deck is the left-handed power bat of Freddie Freeman. Now, you definitely don't want to load the bases here via a walk. You're ahead 1-2. You're trying to attack Travis d'Arnaud. You want to get something maybe down in the zone, get him to ground out or strike out. Fastball up and in. Foul tipped into the glove of Gary Sanchez, according to the home plate umpire. And that is going to be an out. We'll see if he actually makes contact here. It doesn't look like it. It looks close. We'll see if the Braves will. I don't know if they can challenge that, actually. They will. They are going to call in, see if that is something that they deem reasonable enough to challenge and maybe not lose. And it doesn't look like he makes contact. Now, whether or not that would have been a called strike is another story, but the home plate umpire clearly says foul back and caught by Gary Sanchez. It looked to be a good pitch. I think Jordan Montgomery definitely hit his spot here. We'll see. I'm assuming the Braves will challenge because I think they would win it. But that is right on the inside portion of the plate, like right on the black there. Good spot. Good control from Jordan Montgomery. And they will indeed challenge it. The umpires are gathering, of course, safely with their masks on. And we'll see what the call is here. Now, if d'Arnaud does indeed go down on strikes, that'll put 2 outs with 2 men on, runners at the corners, for Freddie Freeman, who bats third. So the umpires have their headsets on, again, with their masks, staying safe and following the COVID-19 protocols here. Now, they're in a replay review currently, and I think the Braves do win this one here. It did not look like it hit the bat of d'Arnaud. It was close. Like, he checked his swing, and it just went under the barrel. So I can see why the umpire made that call initially, but I think it will get overturned. Either way, it is a very good pitch. So I would assume if it's not an out, it'll have to be ball 2 in the at-bat and not called strike 3, because I think at this point it's maybe too late to go ahead and deem that a strike. We'll see what happens here. Yankees with a 3-run lead in the top of the third, just about an hour into the stream. And we'll take this break and go around the league with scores from other games. Wait, hold on. Umpires reaching for their headsets. They have made a conclusion. And let's see what the call is here. He's out. So apparently there was not enough evidence to overturn the call. And Travis Darno, you can see, says what happened. He clearly mouths what happened to, I guess, the Braves dugout. It was unclear of who he was speaking to. But that will be a strikeout. So now Travis Darno has struck out in both of his 2 at-bats. Freddie Freeman will come up with runners on first and third. So this could be another good opportunity for Jordan Montgomery to sneak out of the inning, avoiding a lot of damage here. Freddie Freeman, now with this game, hitting .262 with a trio of home runs, 12 RBIs, and an .891 OPS. He popped out to the shortstop back in the first and has a big opportunity here to help get the Braves on the board. He can tie this ball game with one swing of the bat. And Montgomery will make a quick pickoff move over to first. Unsuccessful. Inciarte will get back to first safely. So, again, just a quick recap of what's happened here in the top of the third, because I feel like it's been a lot. And sometimes if you're not watching the game, it is hard to follow. So, Tyler Flowers worked a leadoff walk. It was a very good at-bat from him. Jordan Montgomery threw some good pitches, a full count. He worked the walk, got to first. Then Ender Inciarte, a grounder to Gio Urshela, but was good for an error. So Flowers would get to second safely, and so would Ender Inciarte. That put runners on both first and second. A wild pitch later led the Braves backstop from second to third, still with nobody out. The top of the order came along. Dansby Swanson popped out right behind the infield grass, DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman. And then Travis d'Arnaud struck out even with the replay. Apparently, it was a foul ball. Now, Freddie Freeman hits a hard grounder to DJ LeMahieu. He'll make the throw to Luke Voight, and that will end the inning. So a 4-3 grounder, no runs on no hits for the Atlanta Braves here. That is twice now they have threatened with runners in scoring position and have been unsuccessful. Jordan Montgomery has looked good, very good to this point, if I do add. 3 innings of scoreless baseball to this point. As we go to the bottom of the third now from the New York Yankees, they will have the top of the lineup due up as well. DJ LeMahieu, who just made the final play defensively, Aaron Judge, and the other Aaron Hicks. They will all bat. Now, scores around the league here. The Marlins still have held on to a 1-run lead over the Blue Jays. Scores 1-0 in the top of the 5th. The Nationals now up 2-0 over the Mets in the bottom half of the second. The Reds have jumped down to a 5-1 lead over the Royals out in Cincinnati through 2.5 innings. The Orioles and Phillies have no score through 2.5 innings as well. The Cubs and Indians are in the top of the third. Chicago with a 1-run lead. 1-0 is the score. The White Sox and Tigers remain at a 4-0 ball game. The Rays are up 1-0 over the Red Sox. And then the rest of the games will start later this evening. So we go to the bottom of the third, and the New York Yankees have scored 3 runs on 2 hits, but the highlight being a Luke Voight bases clearing home run, no doubt home run, if I do may add, in the bottom of the first. There were runners at the corners, and just an absolute moonshot out to left field. And that was the first 3 runs at the end for the New York Yankees. We'll see if they score any more here in the bottom of the third. Now, a quick injury update. Aroldis Chapman was supposed to throw to batters today. He was out, I believe, with COVID. He was diagnosed with COVID, I think, before the season started, or just right around like that time frame, like right as the season was getting underway. He had to start his quarantine. Now he's getting back into the routine of throwing to batters. And hopefully we see him in the Yankees bullpen sometime soon. Giancarlo Stanton is out also for the next 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring strain. And DJ LeMahieu will lead it off for the Yankees here in the home half of the third. The first pitch to him is a 93-mile-per-hour fastball up and in for ball 1. Now back in the first inning, DJ singled to lead off the game, and then later scored on the Luke Voight 3-run homer. So you can do here, his average is now back to over .400 on the season. There have definitely been some certain candidates that could finish off the 60-game season with a .400 batting average or higher. And when you speculate here, DJ LeMahieu is one of those guys that can pull off that feat. And last year, he finished with an average just under .330, I believe. He played pretty much the entire season for the New York Yankees. And this one is going to be another ball up and in, and it will get DJ LeMahieu. Looks like on the elbow. Yeah, he turns away from the plate. It nicks him on the elbow here, and he will take first. Hit by pitch, and it is a runner on first now for Aaron Judge. Now, Judge was red hot over a stretch of 5 games. He had 6 home runs. At the moment, he was hitting .283 going into this game with 8 home runs and 19 RBIs. The curveball to him is going to miss down 1-0 to Aaron Judge to start the at-bat. And he lined out to right field back in the first. He's now hitting .279. His OPS at 1.028. A 2-run homer here would give him the lead for home runs in Major League Baseball. Again, him and Fernando Tatis Jr. are tied for first with 8. And then I believe you have Mike Trout and I think it's Nick Castellanos at 7. They're tied for second. Aaron Judge checks his swing. The first base umpire says he goes around. And the count's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike to the Yankees right fielder. One runner on, nobody out, and that is going to miss outside in the other batter's box fastball, 2-1 to Aaron Judge. Now, Judge graduated from Fresno State College and, of course, has been a big part of the Yankees organization when healthy. Ever since he made his debut back in 2017, he won the Rookie of the Year award in the American League. Off-speed pitch to him, now down and in for called strike 2. Probably should have won the AL MVP back in his rookie campaign season. Again, 2017, won the Home Run Derby. Aaron Judge just is a great ball player on and off the field. He's just a guy to idolize and look up to. The off-speed pitch will miss outside now, so it's full count to the right fielder. I believe he's 6'8" tall or 6'7", somewhere in that vicinity. He is a very tall baseball player, but very good at what he does. And he was one of a few Yankees players who benefited from the delayed season. He would have started out back in March on the injured list for New York because he was healing from that rib injury he had back from the previous postseason. Now, with that expanded time off and that extended extended winter it really was for them because they couldn't really play and get out. Aaron Judge was able to heal, and he made his debut on opening night with the New York Yankees. He's going to take ball 4. So now 2 walks for Tucson. DJ got aboard via hit by pitch. Aaron Judge, full count turns into ball 4. He'll get to first. And you have 2 men on, nobody out for the switch hitting Aaron Hicks. Again, he will bat lefty because Tucson, Atlanta Braves starting pitcher, is right-handed. Now, we did see Bryce Wilson warming up in the bullpen very quickly last inning. We'll see if they go to him here now or anytime soon. But Aaron Hicks definitely is due for a big hit. Going into tonight, had 38 at-bats, hitting .211 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and a .756 OPS. He was extended, I believe, last season or right before last season to a 7-year, $70 million contract for the New York Yankees. He's going to take ball 1 as well now to start the at-bat. And going into tonight, Tukey had pitched in 3 games, had a 0-0 record, and earned a 6.08 ERA. Fastball's going to miss inside, make it 2-0 to Aaron Hicks. Now he's behind again. But if anything, he will probably earn the loss tonight as he gave up 3 runs in the first and is at risk of allowing more now. DJ LeMahieu off second base. Aaron Judge on first, nobody out. And he's behind in the count 2 at Aaron Hicks. A fastball outside, but a called strike from the umpire. It's 2-1. The 24-year-old has thrown 50 pitches to this point, retiring 6 batters, giving up only 2 hits, but 3 runs, walking a pair of batters. And now see what happens here in this Aaron Hicks at bat. He goes back to that fastball down and away, and he gets away with the called strike again. That is a ball, on the demographic on screen. It is appearing to be out of the zone, but the umpire has given the pitcher the call there, especially now in these last 2 pitches of the at-bat. So will he try to go down and away with a fastball again to sit down Hicks? We'll see what he does. And it's a changeup, kind of over the heart of the plate, which Aaron Hicks dribbles over to the third baseman, Austin Riley. He'll make the throw, but not in time, and it's an infield base hit for Aaron Hicks. So that will be scored a single. He reached via the error back in the first. A chopper infield single over to Austin Riley, the Braves' third baseman. Will not be thrown over to Freddie Freeman in time, and he'll beat it out. DJ LeMahieu easily gets to third. Aaron Judge over at second. And now, here's the fun part. Bases loaded, nobody out for Luke Voight, who is single-handedly responsible for all 3 runs for the New York Yankees already in this ballgame. That 3-run home run back in the first was a no-doubter. His 5th home run on the season. He now has 11 RBIs. And a big hit here would be clutch, add a whole lot of insurance for New York. He's going to line it to Austin Riley, who catches it in the air, or catches it on the line before it hits the ground. He throws over to Freddie Freeman to check back on Aaron Hicks, and the throw gets away from the first baseman. So DJ LeMahieu scores on the bad throw. And let's take a look at this here again. So it's a line drive, first pitch Luke Voight sees. Riley tries to pick up Aaron Hicks because he had a big lead over there at first. But the throw gets away, or the ball gets away from Freddie Freeman, and DJ LeMahieu will score. So I don't know how to put that down in the scorebook. I'm assuming it's going to be a line out to third and then an E5. So Luke Voight is out, but DJ LeMahieu will score. And it is now a 4-0 ball game, 1 away. Aaron Judge on second, Aaron Hicks on first, and Gleyber Torres with a 1-0 count now will step into the box. Gleyber in his first at-bat back in the first inning popped out to the second baseman, is now hitting 154 with a single home run, 2 RBIs, and a 459 OPS. He is another guy who's due for a big hit, whether that is a home run or just a nice single in the gap that maybe scores Aaron Judge. He needs something. The average is not looking great at the moment. And he's waiting to kind of get out of the funk that he has been in early on. Not collecting a whole lot of hits. Doing pretty well over there at shortstop defensively. Of course, Gleyber has been known for his bat in recent seasons. The 1-1 here to him is going to be a fastball, 94 miles per hour, that clocks in at just outside, so 2-1. Again, both Aarons are on base. Judge at second, Hicks leading off first. With 1 away, and the Yankees hold a 4-0 lead in the bottom half of the third. Up and in, that seems to be maybe a changeup at 86 miles an hour. It looks like a ball, but anything close, really, inside to batters, he's apparently been calling strikes, and it's been in the pitcher's favor. So make the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Gleyber thinks about it, does not go around. Again, another fastball down and away. Is going to miss. Full count. So the last full count that Tucson got into was against, I believe, Aaron Judge, who later walked. Mike Ford is on deck. He's 0 for 1. So far this game back in the first, he grounded out to second. Time is called. Gleyber's going to fix his batting gloves here, step back into the box, and see what happens on the full count. Tucson to Gleyber Torres. 1 away. 1 runner in scoring position. 2 men on base. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire. Would have been ball four. We'll see this here. Yeah, it looks like he just about broke the plane. So what would have been ball four and loaded the bases again is this time going to be a strikeout now for Gleyber Torres. So his kind of slow start to the season just continues here as he's over 2 tonight against the Braves. That'll bring up Mike Ford again. He grounded out to second his first time around in the opening frame of this ball game. Going into today in 18 at-bats, he was hitting 167 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and a 571 OPS. He'll take a fastball up and away, 94 miles an hour for ball one. Aaron Judge still at second. Aaron Hicks also at first with 2 outs. Now the Yankees have added 1 more run on to the scoreboard here so far this inning. Curveball just inside, deemed a strike by the umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 men on for Mike Ford, the designated hitter tonight. Now, you think of Clint Frazier, who just got recalled from the New York Yankees earlier today before the ball game. You say, well, why isn't he in the lineup today? He's waited long enough to be called strike outside, a 1-2 count now to the designated hitter. But you think he's waited long enough to get some, experience and to get some action out in the ball game. And unfortunately, it's just tonight isn't his night. I think the matchup here was Touki Toussaint's right-handed. Mike Ford is a lefty. Not saying that Clint Frazier can't hit right-handed pitching well, just in the sense where you want to try to play the at-bats as well as possible in the matchups. You want to try to get the lefty against the right-handed pitcher because typically, that is when batters do better against pitchers who are not the same dominant hand as them. So I think that's why we see Mike Ford in today. Maybe also they just wanted Clint Frazier to get some extra reps or whatever, whether that's in the outfield or at the plate. Now, Aaron Boone did say, which does make sense, that Frazier will be used either way. He'll be in the outfield or he will be a designated hitter, and Boone fully intends on playing around at the designated hitter spot. You have multiple guys who can fit that role, especially with Giancarlo Stanton out. And the full count for Mike Ford, the delivery, is going to be a pitch where he lines into right field. Marcelo Zuna tries to leap, but he cannot make the catch. So it's going to be an RBI double, 2 RBI double. Aaron Judge and Aaron Hicks both come around to score, and that is a huge hit here for Mike Ford with 2 outs. Now, again, that's a line drive right over the head of Marcell Ozuna. Because it was a full count, the runners were on the move. And that helped Aaron Hicks go from first to home on the play. The ball bounced all the way out to the wall, and by the time Ozuna got it in, it was not in time to get Hicks at the plate. So Aaron Judge and Aaron Hicks both score. It's a 2 RBI double for Mike Ford. Make it 6-0 in the New York Yankees' favor here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. I would think Toussaint maybe gets the boot here in a little bit. Bryce Wilson still is in the bullpen, actively warming up. I think he maybe comes into the game at some point here. 6 earned runs for Touki, with only recording 8 outs at the moment. So I don't know what the game plan is. Maybe they want him to end out the third inning, and Bryce Wilson will start in the bottom of the fourth for the Braves on the mound. Gio Urshela steps in with 2 outs, and Mike Ford in scoring position at second. The first pitch to him is going to miss outside for a ball. And earlier in the game, just last inning, Gio Urshela grounded out to third. That would start a 1-2-3 inning for Touki Toussaint, which was easily his best inning of the ball game. He got Urshela to ground out to third, Gary Sanchez to ground out to third, and then Brett Gardner grounded out to the shortstop. So he induced 3 ground balls there, retired the Yankees lineup in order 7-8-9, and the third inning has just not been good for him. Touki led it off with the hit by pitcher DJ LeMahieu. He then walked Aaron Judge. Aaron Hicks with an infield single low to the bases. Luke Voight had an error which ended up which led into an RBI and a wild throw. But the third out of the inning will be recorded as Gio Urshela flies out to center. After Voight had that RBI play, Gleyber Torres struck out, Mike Ford with a 2 RBI double, and now Gio Urshela ends the inning with a fly ball to center. So, 2 hits for the New York Yankees, and they tack on 3 more runs. So they put up 3 runs in the first, 3 in the third, and they strand Mike Ford at second to end it here in the bottom of the third. We'll go to the top half of the fourth inning. We'll see more of Jordan Montgomery, who has looked very good to this point. I really like what we have been seeing out of Montgomery. The last game he pitched in was against the Phillies in that set. Is when he had, I believe it was one game in the doubleheader and then another game against Philadelphia. Montgomery came in to make that start, didn't do well. I believe allowed 5 earned runs, and just struggled a little bit. Did not really acquire too many strikeouts. But in this game, 3 innings, he worked out of trouble twice. In the second and third inning, he had runners in scoring position. The Braves just could not knock them in, and it has worked out in Montgomery's favor. So it has again a 6-0 ball game here. The New York Yankees ahead of the Braves. We are through the first third of the ball game. Here we are for the Atlanta Braves offense. Marcell Ozuna, Adam Duvall, and Johan Camargo are all due up. That is the heart of the order right there. The 4, 5, and 6 batters. If you guys aren't aware, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I had the one lineup set out that was initially released. And for whatever reason, Ronald Acuna Jr. was scratched from that lineup, which actually changed a number of batters, both players in the game and positions where guys were to hit. So we're going to check to see right now if there's any news about why he is not playing like he was scheduled to today. So it looks like as of about 6 p.m. tonight, Acuna was set to be day-to-day. He has a sore left wrist, and that is preventing him from starting in this ball game. The Braves are going to continue to evaluate their center fielder, and they don't have an estimated timetable return for him at the moment. Marcell Ozuna takes an off-speed pitch for strike 1, then grounds out to Gio Urshela, and that'll be the first out for Jordan Montgomery here, and it's a quick one. A 5-3 ground out Gio to Luke Voight. And there you have it, 1 out. Now, Monty has thrown 43 pitches, retiring 10 batters, allowing no runs and only 1 hit with a few base runners. But now Adam Duvall will step in with a 273 average with 2 home runs and I believe 7 RBIs to this point. First pitch he sees, he's going to pop out to Aaron Hicks, the center fielder, just a foot or 2 in front of the warning track. And a fly out here to the center fielder will make it 2 outs on 3 pitches for Jordan. Now, this is the type of stuff that Yankees fans and Aaron Boone wants to see from the left-handed 27-year-old starting pitcher. I mean, if he can continue to do this for the remainder of the season and kind of just forget about that second start, maybe that fluke start of the season against the Phillies, he's going to be huge in the rotation, can easily establish himself as number 3 or 4 man for the New York Yankees, of course, following behind Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka. Paxton looks pretty good. Happ looks all right. I mean, both have been pretty, on the fence recently, but Paxton really more or less, I think, is the number 3 at the moment, if it's not going to be Monty. The first pitch to Johan Camargo is going to be a ball, and he'll wave and miss. And that's going to be an 82-mile-per-hour changeup right over the heart of the plate, knee-high. He just does not get a piece of it here, so the out's going to be 1-1. And 2 quick outs now. We'll see what happens on the pitch. Camargo will ground it over to Gleyber Torres. He'll field it cleanly and make the throw over to Luke Voight. A 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Montgomery, and that is a beautiful play. He works the lineup. 4, 5, and 6 batters all go down pretty easily, rather. And that looks to be the first 1-2-3 inning of the ballgame for Monty since the first. He retired Swanson, Darnell, and Freeman all in order. He got into a little bit of trouble in the second, a little bit more in the third, but lights out here in the fourth. Very minimal pitches thrown, a quick ground out, pop out first pitch to Adam Duvall, and then a ground out from Johan Camargo. Monty has still only allowed 1 hit through 4 innings and no runs. At this pace, he could look to get about 5 or 6 innings in, which would really help the Yankees bullpen. And we know this is only a 2-game set against the Atlanta Braves. Following these 2 games, you do have, I believe, an off day on Thursday. So the schedule looks like for the New York Yankees, you have the Braves tonight, which is Tuesday. Tuesday, August 11th, and then Wednesday, August 12th, they play the Braves for the final game of the set. And then it is an off day on Thursday, and I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday is all against the Boston Red Sox. So the Yankees have a nice little schedule coming up here. They go from a good team in the NL East to the worst team in the AL East at the moment. And really, we've kind of discussed this briefly, I think, in other streams before to this point, but these games almost mean double when you're playing a division rival. Even if it's a team like the Boston Red Sox who aren't doing well at the moment, the Yankees really can't afford to lose very many of them. More important, more so for the Tampa Bay Rays, when we lost that series 3-1, that's huge because not only did we lose, but the Rays got wins for 3 out of those 4 games. So they got closer and closer up to first place, and they're now a game and a half back of the New York Yankees for the division title. So, when you're playing the Red Sox, of course, if you do lose, you give them the win, and that helps them climb the standings a little bit. The Red Sox maybe are not as much of a threat as the Rays are, but you don't want to lose because if you're losing games and the Rays are winning, they're going to jump all over first place, and it's going to be back and forth. The Rays have a really good team. Their starting pitching is good. I think Charlie Morton is now day-to-day, though. But Blake Snell is really good. Tyler Glasnow is solid. They have a nice little lineup there. The bullpen's pretty good. Chaz Rowe, the back end of things there for them. You got Kittredge and everyone as well. Like they have a really good team, and it's honestly a team to be scared of come the postseason because you know they're going to be there. Whether it's a first place team or a second place team, we don't know where exactly the Rays will fall. The Yankees will be the other team from the AL East that definitely make it. And the Blue Jays, wherever the third place team ends up being, if their record is good enough because of the expanded playoffs, they could also find themselves in the postseason. So Gary Sanchez now is behind in the count 1-2, a few foul balls. And Touki Toussaint is still in this ballgame. So Bryce Wilson has been warming up since the bottom of the second. And the Braves have kept their starter in the game. The fastball going to miss up in the zone. So it's 2-2 to the Yankees backstop. Now, it is a 2-2 count to Gary Sanchez, but he's 0 for 1 in this ballgame. He'll take a curveball just outside and foul it back the other way. That'll get out of play. Now, that 1 out that Gary Sanchez, that 0 for 1 that Gary Sanchez is a part of this game, was that weird deflected play off of Touki Toussaint's foot, and he seems to be okay afterwards. But Gary Sanchez lined it into, I believe it was Touki's left foot. It kind of reflected over to the third baseman, Austin Riley. He makes a throw in time to get Gary Sanchez out, and that was how he was sat down the first time. And this time, he'll go down swinging on strikes on a fastball out of the zone. And that is Touki Toussaint's second strikeout of the ballgame. Only Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez have gone down via the strike. Now, both of those guys are the ones off to a very slow start so far for the Yankees. And I guess this isn't the game where they turn things around here. But I mentioned it before, come later in the season, especially if the Rays continue to do well and if they're closely on the Yankees' tail, you're going to need production from guys like Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez because they are big names in that lineup. And when you don't necessarily have a big bat in Kyle Higashioka or Eric Kratz, the backup catcher, you need production out of Gary Sanchez. Now, not saying Higashioka is not good. I love Kyle Higashioka personally. I really like our backup catchers recently for the New York Yankees. Austin Romine and Kyle Higashioka are awesome, and they're great backups. Like Kyle Higashioka, I think, can start for some other teams in Major League Baseball around the league, but he does not necessarily hit like Gary Sanchez has in recent seasons. And Gary's big, the big player he is because of his bat. He doesn't have the best defense. We've seen that with a wild pitch that he couldn't really keep in front of him before. He is known for his hitting. So if he's not hitting and he's not really performing well defensively, maybe it is time for Kyle Higashioka just to get a few games in or to get Gary Sanchez back on track. Now, Brett Gardner will line out to the center fielder, and that'll be 2 away now for Touki Toussaint. If he can get out of this inning here, 1, 2, 3, that would be huge for him. He'd get through 4 innings of play. I don't know if he'd be pushed to start the 5th, but he is currently at 78 pitches through 3 2/3 innings. Now, DJ LeMahieu is batting .407. He had the single back in the first, which he later scored on the Luke Voight home run. He was hit by a pitch last inning and scored. We'll see what happens here now with 2 away and nobody on for the New York Yankees. First pitch to the second baseman is inside on the inner third quadrant. Or on the inner third portion of the plate here, and that'll be 0-1. Fastball inside. He fouls down the first baseline. And it's not going to be 0-2. DJ finds himself behind in the count. So 80 pitches here. I think Touki Toussaint's kind of regained his ground a little bit. Had 2 rough innings. Got beat up on a little bit. 3 runs in the first and third. Now it's a 7.41 ERA, which is a bit high. Came into tonight 6.08. But if he can pitch through 4 innings, the Braves don't have to work the bullpen too much. And after the 2 games set here against the New York Yankees, the Braves will go ahead and play the Miami Marlins for a few games. So that's going to be an important series. Will the Marlins be able to beat the Braves? Should they? Based off their team, you don't think they will? But with the hots that they have had, you never know. They might surprise this year. And that pitch is going to miss high. So it's 2-2 to the second baseman. 2 outs. And with the angle we're seeing Ronald Acuna Jr. in the third base dugout looking over at the game. Again, he was scratched from tonight's lineup about an hour before game time because of soreness in his wrist. DJ fouls that one back. The count remains at 2-2 with 2 away to number 26. 83 pitches for the Braves starter. And we'll see if he can get out of the inning here and retire DJ LeMahieu. A fastball right on the black, but again, DJ will make contact and hit it out of play. Count remains 2-2. The Yankees have seen him pretty well. They've worked some walks. They've gotten big hits, and that we go back again to Luke Voight. His 3-run homer back in the first was huge. I think that got the Yankees off to a really solid start. Got the ball rolling, some momentum behind the bats. And at the moment, it looks like the Yankees have continued, at least, their stretch of going undefeated at home so far. Coming into tonight, they are without a loss in the Bronx. And with a 6-run lead in the bottom of the 4th, they look to be the favorites for this game as well. Yet again, another foul ball from DJ. He stays in the count here, staying alive. A .407 average. He hits the ball very well, hits for contact, has a pair of home runs with 7 ribbies in that leadoff spot, and a .944 on-base plus slugging coming into tonight. You gotta assume that's gone up a little bit as he's 1 for 1 and has gotten on base via the hit by pitch. A curveball, great pitch. He took a lot off of it there. 75 miles an hour down and away. DJ will strike out swinging. That is strikeout number 3 for Touki. No runs on no hits. He retires the Yankees in order 8, 9, and 1. Gary, Gardner, and DJ all go down. So here we are now. We are going to head to the top of the 5th, where we see Austin Riley, Tyler Flowers, and Ender Inciarte all due up. They will hit in the 5th inning. See if they can spark a rally for the Atlanta Braves and get some runs on the board. A 6-run deficit at the moment. And, of course, they don't want to get shut out. The Braves actually have a very nice run differential. It'll be somewhere in the positive 20 range, which means they have outscored their opponents up to this point by 20 runs. And the Yankees, I think coming in tonight, it was plus 14 how they had their run differential sit. So Braves and Yankees, both really good teams offensively, have solid lineups, and we all knew that this was going to be a fun matchup. and that it was going to be an interesting one because it really could have gone either way. But the Yankees got off to a quick start, and they have maintained that quick start, backed by a very strong Jordan Montgomery this evening. He has looked good. 4 innings pitched, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs. If he can keep that going, again, it looks like the goal for him is like 5 or 6 innings to start this game. And then, from there, you want to go ahead and get minimal innings out of bullpen guys. Use 2 or 3 bullpen arms, so you still have people to go to tomorrow for the second game of the set, second and final game. And then you still have, a nice selection of well-rested guys against the Red Sox. Because those are games you're going to want to win. You're going to want to win as many as possible against Boston. They are 4 games back right now, and I think they are losing to the Rays in the game that is currently being played. But you want to beat Boston as much as possible, A, because of the classic Yankee-Red Sox rivalry, but B, just because you want to maintain this lead over the Rays. The Yankees had a really hot start to the season. Their last few games weren't great, and they're hopping back into it now. Austin Riley with a long foul ball would have gotten out of play. I'm sorry, if it stayed fair, it would have been a home run, but this one got out of play just to the left of the foul pole. So it's a 1-1 count now to the Braves' third baseman, and that is unfortunate. It would have been the first run of the game for the Braves to lead off the inning. A solo shot from the third baseman, Austin Riley, would have been huge. Instead, it's a 1-1 count, and he'll poke this one out to right field. Aaron Judge, just in front of the warning track, will make the play. So it's a line out to right, and that's the first out of the inning for Jordan Montgomery. He's thrown 50 pitches through 4 1/3 innings. He looks really, really good. Boone is probably watching this game right now. He's feeling good too. So is, the other starters and the players right now. Jordan Montgomery is going to be a very solid start. This kind of brings back what he did, how well he performed against Boston in his initial outing this this season for him. And the first pitch to Tyler Flowers will be a curveball outside, but deemed a strike by the home plate umpire. It's going to be 0-1 now to Tyler. And in his only at-bat so far at this point, he drew a walk, and that led off the third inning. That was when the Braves threatened with runners at the corners and nobody out. They no longer have that opportunity, of course, here in top of the fifth, but they did not score. They did not take advantage of those 2 men on base. They left both stranded once they ended the inning. The 0-2 now to Tyler. It's going to be an off-speed pitch that bounces in the dirt. Easy ball 1. That gets away. But with no one on base, no one advances. And now a 1-2 count to the Braves catcher. So Flowers and Inciarte will both have at-bats. Of course, Flowers is up now. Ender Inciarte on deck in the batter circle. And that fastball is going to run inside and make it 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away now for Monty as he faces Tyler, number 25, for the Braves. Now, Tyler Flowers, a fun fact here, as he strikes out swinging on a changeup down and away. Tyler Flowers' birthday is January 24th. Now, that is 1 day after my birthday, so pretty close, in very close proximity here. And January 24th is his birthday, and he does strike out here. So that'll be 2 outs now for Jordan Montgomery. Who do I want to win? Well, I mean, I am a Yankees fan, so of course I want the Yankees to win. But this is a really good ball game at the moment. It's the Yankees and Braves, and at the moment, the Braves haven't done a whole lot early on. They are losing 6-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. But they average, a little more than 5 runs a game. So if they can come back and make a stretch here in these later innings, we can maybe see them come back and make this game a little more interesting. So, I mean, the Yankees are my team, right? But I'm rooting for both teams to do well. I like the Braves. The Braves was actually the first team I ever saw in person at a Major League Baseball game. I was really young, went out to see them play the Giants, I believe. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old. And it was a lot of fun. So that'll always be a part of me here. I'm always going to want to root for the Braves, even when they're against the Mets, even now, like when they're against the Yankees. It's hard not to root for them. They've got great players. But Ender Inciarte will strike out here, and that'll end the inning. So no runs on no hits. Monty, I continue to say this. I sound like a broken record, but he looks really strong. Only one hit allowed. He has retired 15 batters. And now we'll transfer things over to the bottom half of the fifth, where Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, and Luke Voight are all due up. So here we are now. Aaron Judge is 0 for 1 on the day. He lined out to right field and then walked back in the third inning. Aaron Hicks reached base via an error by the pitcher back in the first inning. In the third inning, he singled and later came out to score. He's actually scored in both of his previous at-bats to this point already. And now we will go ahead and see what will be done by the Yankees offense here. Judge coming into this ball game had a 283 average, 8 home runs. He was 1 RBI shy of 20. Of course, that number now sits at 19. And he had a 1.045 on base plus slugging. He has been huge for the Yankees offensively. He had that stretch of 5 games where he hit 6 home runs. And he's tied for first in the majors, 4 home runs. Him and Fernando Tatis Jr., who broke out. Fernando Tatis Jr. has been huge. I think the other day he had a 2 or 3 home run. I think he had a 3 home run game. And he has looked very good for San Diego. The Padres are off to a nice start to the season. And it looks like Bryce Wilson finally gets the nod to come into this game here. He'll lead it off, or he'll start the inning for the Braves on the mound. In 2019, he pitched in 6 games, starting 4. He had a 1-1 record, 7.20 ERA in 20 innings, allowing 26 hits, 10 walks, 16 strikeouts, and his opponent's batting average was .321. Now, this is his 2020 debut. And the first at-bat, the first batter you will see is Aaron Judge. And that's going to be a little down in the zone, but a called strike by the home plate umpire. So he'll be ahead 0-1 to start against number 99. Fastball slightly inside, 95, clocking in miles per hour, and it's going to be 1-1. Looked like a changeup down and in, and now he has missed twice back-to-back pitches, and he falls behind in the count 2-1 down to Aaron Judge. So Judge, Hicks, and Voight all due up. They've all had pretty significant days, but for all different reasons. As Aaron Judge drives this one to right center field, and it is gone. A 2-1 pitch over the heart of the plate. Aaron Judge gets all of it. That's his 9th homer of the season. He now leads Major League Baseball with home runs. That goes right into the Yankees bullpen. It is now a 7-run ball game. The Yankees are up here in the 5th inning. That is huge. A huge start. A nice blast here from Aaron Judge. Just as I was getting ready to say, Judge, Hicks, and Voight have all contributed in different ways. Judge lined out in the first, but he got on base back in the third. He scored a run. Hicks got on base twice and scored twice. And Luke Voight had the 3-run home run back in the first. Now Aaron Judge with a solo shot here, his 9th of the season, his 20th RBI. And yeah, a 2-1 mistake pitch over the heart of the plate to Aaron Judge. If you're a pitcher, you just cannot miss. Right in Aaron Judge's wheelhouse. He gets a perfect swing and sends it right into the Yankees bullpen. Like, that was a no-doubter. He got every stitch of that baseball. And now Bryce Wilson is down to start in the count against Aaron Hicks 2-0. So actually that baseball dented the Toyota sign out right in front of right above the bullpen. It hit the wall so hard, it left a little mark. So there you go. Aaron Judge is a strong human being. Hits a lot of home runs, 52 in his rookie season. Of course, he set a record then, and that was later surpassed by Pete Alonso last season, who hit 53 home runs as a rookie. And you just think 52 and 53 home runs are insane in one season. Like, that is crazy. And now Aaron Hicks, a 3-1 count with no one out and no one on base. The 3-1. And it's going to miss outside. A fastball. Good for ball 4. Aaron Hicks will walk. This is his third time making it to at least first base. Of course, the error back in the first allowed him to be safe, and then he had a single back in the third. Now he's going to walk here, so he's technically 1 for 2 on the day, and that brings up Luke Voight. Now, Voight had a 3-run home run in the first. He lined out to third in the third inning, but with the wild throw from Austin Riley to Freddie Freeman, DJ LeMahieu was allowed to score, and that was the 4th run of the ball game. Now it is 7-0, and it's a called strike to the Yankees' first baseman. Bryce Wilson's already thrown 10 pitches. So, yeah, maybe the first batter Bryce faced was not the way he wanted to go about his 2020 debut. Aaron Judge, he gives up a solo home run. Voight now pokes it to right field. Out of play, Marcell Ozuna tries to jump and reach into the stance. He cannot come up with it. So it's going to be still an 0-2 count. Now they're taking a look back at Luke Voigt's home run before. His projected distance was 422 feet, and the exit velo was 104.3. Now the MLB average for exit velo was 103.6, so just slightly above that average number for players around the league. And Luke Voigt gets another chance here in the 0-2 count. Aaron Hicks standing off at first. And it looks like that hits Voigt. This is not good. Falls directly to the ground. Like right on the knuckles maybe. Or right on the hand. And he gets up, shaking his head. He's walking out of first immediately. The trainer comes out for the New York Yankees. And Aaron Boone's walking over with him. Making sure he's okay. That's not good. If you're the New York Yankees or Luke Voigt, you have to hope that that did not hurt him. He's produced a lot, behind Aaron Judge and now Giancarlo Stanton, but he's hurt. Luke Voigt has produced a whole lot. He's contributed a lot to the Yankees offense. 5 home runs, I believe 11 RBIs. He's a big factor for the New York Yankees. He's hitting cleanup tonight because there is no Giancarlo Stanton. And, of course, he deserves that role, that 3-run home run. Now a hit by pitch. It looks like he is okay. Bryce Wilson, I think, just missed right there, up and in, and it snags him, and it hits Voigt on the hand. The first pitch out of Gleyber Torres is down and away, and the opponent's and the opposite batter's walks for ball 1. So Hicks gets to second, and Voigt walks with the hit by pitch. Now, that's the second time a New York Yankees hitter has been plunked with the ball this game. Whether intentional or not, I don't think it's intentional. But earlier we had, who was it that got hit? Let's see. DJ LeMahieu back in the third inning was hit by a pitch. Now Luke Voigt, who stands on first, got hit and is now standing at first. Aaron Hicks at second. Gleyber Torres a 2-0 count. If you're Gleyber, I've been saying this the entire game in his previous 2 at-bats, but this is a huge opportunity for you here. Again, this is going to run inside. Gleyber kind of has to dance out of the way. A 93-mile-per-hour fastball. It's a 3-0 count. Now, is he given the light here, the green light, with a 7-run lead and 2 men on? I don't know, but you have to assume it's a get-me-over pitch somewhere in the zone for Bryce Wilson, so we'll see how things play out here. And nope, just ball 4, a fastball going to miss. Kind of like up at the Yankees emblem on the jersey. So Torres will walk. Luke Voigt advances to second. Aaron Hicks to third. Bases loaded, all following the Aaron Judge solo home run. Now the loaded bases are all via walks. And we take it back here. Aaron Hicks worked a walk. Voigt got hit. And on 4 pitches, Gleyber Torres took first base. So that brings up Mike Ford. He's played a big part in the 7-run ball game at this point. Back in the third inning, he had a 2 RBI double. And he did not come out to score. He was stranded at second, but bases loaded and no one out now. A big opportunity for Mike Ford. And if he wants to see more days in the DH spot, then a big hit here for him would be huge. Now, I say if he wants to see more days, of course, he's going to get more playing time, and he's going to go back and forth with Voight for first base duties. But you have someone like Clint Frazier now, who's recalled, who's brought up to the majors, and he can hit the ball well, and he deserves to be in the lineup. So does my Ford. So does everyone on this team, right? But Ford and Clint are both really good young hitters, and we'll see how things go here. So now, Mike is hitting 200 on the season. The first pitch he sees, he swings at it. It was significantly down in the zone, but he offers at it, so it's a 0-1 count. Bases loaded, nobody out. And that's going to be outside. Ball one. Counts even in one apiece. Number 72, the left-handed first baseman, typically my Ford, faces the righty Bryce Wilson, who is making his 2020 debut. And it's not off to a very good start. Braves pitching has not been great, we'll say, so far in this game. And that's going to be an off-speed pitch outside for a called strike. So 1-2 now. To number 72, just a quick recap of the inning so far. Aaron Judge, solo home run to lead it off. Hicks worked a walk. Voight got hit. Torres, a 4-pitch walk. And now it's 2-2 as the changeup's going to miss down in the dirt. On deck is Gio Urshela. Now, Gio Urshela does hit the ball very well. So far in this game, he's 0 for 2. He has not done a whole lot at the plate against the Braves here this evening. Maybe he can turn things around. As he's getting ready to come to the batter's box, the 2-2 to Mike Ford. Dribbled, hit softly to the second baseman. He'll make the throw over to short, and it'll be a 4-6-3 double play. The run will score. So 4-6-3 there. Aaron Hicks comes across the plate, and now 3 times in 3 at-bats, Aaron Hicks scores a run. So Camargo gets the ball initially, tosses it over to Dansby Swanson at short, who's covering the bag. Swanson from there makes it over to Freddie Freeman to get Mike Ford in time and retire both out. So now we see, let's see who's that going to be. Luke Voight at third. So another runner in scoring position, 90 feet away. For Gio Urshela. He grounded out to third and flew up to center. His average is now down to 300. He's got 3 home runs and 13 RBIs so far in 2020. The 0-1, now that's going to be slightly up in the zone. He'll foul him back and out of play. He'll be down on the count 0-2. The Yankees have scored 2 runs on 1 hit so far this inning. It is an 8-0 ball game. And if you're New York, this is huge. A breakout game. I think 3 or 4 of the losses from last week were all by 1 run. They lost to the Rays, I think, twice by 1. And they dropped a game to the Phillies, like 8, something like it. It was very close. But it was by 1 run. I want to say 8-7. I don't know if that's right. But yeah, the Yankees just last week did not score a whole lot of runs. Their pitching looked a little rough. Their offense, like there was a game against the Rays where we lost 1-0. We got shut out. Both teams only had 2 hits, and the Rays came out on top, winning by 1 and only putting up 1 run on the board. So that's rough. That does hurt. You know, when we can't put up runs with the lineup that we have. But the 2-2 to Gio Urshela, he'll line it out to center field to Ender Inciarte on the warning track, just shy of the wall, and it's going to be a flyout. That'll end the inning for the New York Yankees. So 2 runs on 1 hit. Let's take a look back at Aaron Judge's solo home run to lead off the inning against Bryce Wilson, who made his 2020 debut. That first batter he faced was Aaron Judge. He surrendered a solo shot, then walked the next 3 batters, and Aaron Hicks would be the only one of the 3 to score. It's 8-0 New York as we now go to the top of the 6th. Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud, and Freddie Freeman, otherwise known as your 1-2-3 batters this evening for Atlanta, are all due up here. We'll probably stream about 7 or so innings of this ball game. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. We'll kind of see how it goes timing-wise and how, we are watching the game here production-wise. If the Yankees score some more, the Braves put some runs up on the board. That'll also help me influence and kind of decide how long and how late we'll run this stream. But it's been very fun with each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined and watched the stream so far. If you guys are just joining us now, we're heading to the top of the 6th inning. It's the Atlanta Braves visiting the New York Yankees in the Bronx. And currently the New York Yankees have an 8-0 lead. Jordan Montgomery has looked very good. I'm assuming he's going to come into pitch now in the 6th inning and look to continue to shut down this Braves lineup. We'll take you to scores around the league, update you guys with how all the other teams are doing who are currently in a game. And of course, we know the Yankees and the Braves score is 8-0. New York's winning. The Blue Jays and Marlins. Well, the Blue Jays are playing their first game at home, which is in Buffalo. And they are now winning 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Nationals are ahead of the Mets 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th. The Royals and Reds are through 6 innings. The Royals down 2 runs by a score of 3-5. The Orioles and Phillies are tied at 3 runs each through 5.5 innings. The Cubs lead the Indians 1-0 in the top of the 6th. The White Sox lead the Tigers 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch here to Swanson is going to be a deep fly ball. Aaron Hicks at the wall, but the catch is made. That was a foot shy of a home run from Dansby Swanson. He will be retired now for the 3rd time this evening. First pitch he sees. Again, the White Sox and Tigers. White Sox are up 6-2. The Rays are ahead of the Red Sox 2-1 through 4 innings. And the Twins and Brewers are at a 2-1 ball game in Minnesota's favor through an inning and a half. So here we are now. Travis d'Arnaud steps in, calls timeout, but d'Arnaud has struck out twice in 2 at-bats this game. Now, the second strikeout back in the 3rd inning caused a video replay because the home plate umpire said it was foul-tipped and caught by Gary Sanchez on 2 strikes. So that would, of course, be strike 3. Now, from the angle that we then saw after, it did not look like the ball hit the bat of the Braves catcher and DH. But after further review, the call stood, and it was strike 3, and that was it for Travis d'Arnaud in the at-bat. He's now hitting .375 with 2 strikeouts on the evening. The 2-0 count, he's going to foul this one back, and Montgomery's at 62 pitches, retiring 16 batters, giving up 1 hit and no runs. Who is my favorite player in the MLB? Well, my favorite player on the New York Yankees, which is my favorite team, is Brett Gardner. My favorite position player, not on the Yankees, is Josh Donaldson. So now 3rd baseman of the Minnesota Twins, as Travis d'Arnaud gets one to one hop into center, and that'll be a base hit. So Gardner's my favorite New York Yankee, and then Josh Donaldson's my favorite defensive player, not on the Yankees. And my favorite pitcher in the ball game is Trevor Bauer of the Cincinnati Reds. Big Bauer fan. I just love everything he does. He's a YouTuber as well. I highly suggest you check out his content. Just Trevor Bauer on YouTube, Momentum on YouTube he also is with. But he vlogs these his games, and the COVID season. So you hear his thoughts, you see his routine every day, when he's pitching or not. Trevor Bauer is just a guy I definitely look up to from a content creator standpoint, and just from a fan of the game. Trevor Bauer, just my favorite starting pitcher, my favorite pitcher in the ballgame at the moment. It's a 0-2 count now to the Braves first baseman, Freddie Freeman. Now, Travis d'Arnaud sits on first. It's only the 2nd hit of the ballgame for the Braves offense. Freeman is 0 for 2. He popped out to short, then he grounded out to second. And his field bat so far, a curveball is going to miss here, 1-2. And Montgomery, of course, is trying to induce the double play. The curveball obviously missed down. He was trying to get Freddie Freeman to get on top of it and work the double play. Now, there is a shift. Three infielders on the right side. And, of course, Freddie Freeman goes against the shift. So Gio Urshela was the only man on the left side of the infield playing roughly around shortstop. And Freddie Freeman hits it right where Gio Urshela would have been if there was no shift. So make it back-to-back singles now. Darno will advance to second. Freeman is on first. And that'll bring up the big bear, Marcell Ozuna. Again, this is one of the big winter acquisitions for the Atlanta Braves this season. He's batting cleanup tonight in right field. And Marcell Ozuna had a double back in the second inning. He did not score. Then he grounded out to third. So let's see if he can get a big hit here for the Braves and maybe bring in the first run of the game for Atlanta. Marcell hitting .270 on the year with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, and an .865 OPS. We'll take ball one in the dirt. And Freddie Freeman, who just got the second hit of the inning, who is on first. The 1-0 to Marcell. That's a line drive deep out to left field. It is far. It is gone. See ya. A home run for Marcell Ozuna. That is his 4th of the year. And that'll be the first 3 runs that the Braves score in this ballgame. Make it 8-3 now. That's a 3-run home run from the Braves cleanup batter. And there you have it. That brings in Darno and Freeman. So it looks like probably the 6th inning will be the last for Jordan Montgomery. But only giving up 3 runs here in the 6th, the 3-run home run, he definitely missed the spot. That was right over the heart of the plate. Marcell Ozuna made contact and instantly knew it was gone. And now the base is cleared for Adam Duvall. This one's popped up to right field. Aaron Judge camping under, and he'll make the catch. There you have it. David Hale is warming up for the New York Yankees, assuming he will probably come in the 7th inning. The first pitch to Johan Camargo here, the switch hitter, who is batting right-handed, is fouled back. So it's 0-1. Now Camargo is 0 for 2. He had a line out and a ground out, now hitting 174 on the season with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and an OPS at .588. The 0-1, and the foul is going to miss way upstairs. Make the count even a 1 ball and 1 strike. Montgomery's ERA at 5.28. He came into this ball game with an ERA sitting at 5.59, so it's gone down just a tiny bit. 5 scoreless innings of only 1 hit that he gave up. And then in the 6th here, back-to-back singles, which then led to a 3-run home run from Marcell Ozuna. And make that the second 3-run home run of the game. The first from Luke Voight. Found one here for the Braves. So they have their 2 runners retired. Sorry, 2 outs retired to play. 76 pitches for Monty. He honestly looked really good until he gave up those few hits earlier in this inning. I think maybe, he could definitely get through 5 in a future start. And, once you get to 6, that's kind of where there's a faint line. Batters seeing the pitches more often. They kind of can tell how the pitches move and the strategy is from Montgomery's end. Of course, every time you go through a lineup, there's going to be ground over to Gleyber Torres, and he'll make the throw over to Luke Voight in time. That'll probably end Montgomery's night on the mound. but it is still an 8-3 ball game. The New York Yankees are winning as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Due up for New York, Sanchez, Brett Gardner, and DJ LeMahieu, the top of the order. Now, both Gary and Gardner are 0 for 2. Gary Sanchez came into tonight with a 103 average, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs. The average has obviously gone down as he is hitless through 2 at-bats. And Brett Gardner had an average at 206 prior to the start of this evening's ball game. That has also gone down as he is 0 for 2. We'll see if we can get some production out of the bottom of the lineup now for the New York Yankees. Urshela, Gary, and Gardner are all 0 for to this point. Urshela is 0 for 3 because he's had that extra at-bat. Gary Sanchez is going to lead it off for the New York Yankees. He grounded out in the second, struck out in the fourth, and will get his third opportunity here in the sixth to see if he can get his first hit of the night. Brett Gardner bats ninth. And again, Clint Frazier, who was recalled earlier today, will probably get some playing time. Maybe he starts tomorrow in the outfield or as a designated hitter. But he is an option to go to. So the Yankees' outfield depth now is a little bit different because Giancarlo Stanton is no longer available. He's currently hurt. Not that he was an outfielder anyway because he DH'd for the entirety of the season that he played so far. But you now have Gardner, Hicks, Judge, Talkman, and Frazier. Miguel Andujar was sent down. Tyro Estrada is an infielder. He was sent down, I believe. So a lot of moves were made from the New York Yankees, a lot of roster moves and stuff here, especially in the past couple days. And because the roster size decreased from 30 men to 28 players, and that was set in stone, that was agreed to before the season started by teams and players, just so that initially for the first, I think, like 19 games, not 19, the first 2 weeks, something like that, teams could carry more players in case someone got hurt or sick and they needed a backup. They could have a 30-man roster instead of, I think it's usually 26. So that went up to 30 to start, and now just a few days ago that went down to 28. Now, granted, if you are in a doubleheader, you get one extra guy you can bring up for that doubleheader set, and then they'll either go back down, you'll have to option someone to the alternate site for them to stay on the active roster. So Bryce Wilson nearing 30 pitches, and a foul still is up, clocking in at 94 miles an hour, 1-2 out of the Yankees backstop. Again, on deck, the left-handed hitter, left fielder, Brett Gardner. I believe Gary Sanchez made his debut back in 2015 or 2016. He's been pretty good with the Yankees since. Of course, he's struggled a little bit. He's been back and forth from, a decent defender behind the plate to, not doing so great. But we are looking to hope that Gary Sanchez in the future works on his defense, works towards, getting a little more stealthy back there behind the dish. He's known for his bat, which hasn't been present a whole lot so far this season. As he's now hitting, I think, .94, .96, somewhere around there. He's going to foul this one out and out of play. Freddie Freeman is just out of his reach for the first baseman tonight for the Atlanta Braves. He reaches in because there is no protective netting. There was a chance at the play, and Freddie cannot get to it. So the count will remain 2-2 to Gary Sanchez, and we'll see how things go here. Brett Gardner and DJ LeMahieu all will get at-bats this inning as well. And Freddie Freeman kind of joking around. There was another foul ball just on the ground that he was like, "Hey, did I catch it? Does this count?" That's cool. Just I like to, let the players play. Let them have fun. Let them, have an enjoyable experience for them too. Like when it comes to batters, hitters with bat flips, I'm all for it. When pitchers celebrate after a big strikeout, I'm all for it. Now Joe Kelly's a different story, but I'm fully okay with what Joe Kelly did. I'm not okay with it, but I don't think it was a big deal. I'm pro Joe Kelly, and again, video on that sometime soon. Joe Kelly and Will Noriano fighting the Astros, or kind of taunting and teasing. And they both did separate things. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you do by now. It's kind of old news, but Joe Kelly taunting apparently the Houston Astros batters and allegedly tried to hit them, which they got close. The one ball looked intentional. And then he kind of sticks his tongue in at the end, makes a Sapphire boo-hoo, like Cry Me a River type of thing. And it's suspended 8 games, which is crazy. Ramon Laureano got into a benches clearing brawl the other day. It was Astros and Athletics, but the Astros personnel, a coach, kind of antagonized Ramon Laureano and kind of starts like, "Hey, come here, come at me," He got hit by a pitch. I think he got hit with a pitch like 3 times in that series, or within a short span of games. Kind of as I'm babbling here, Gary Sanchez had a few more foul balls. The count the count went to full. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Gary Sanchez. He'll call timeout here, and we will continue the at-bat. So I think we might call it a day after these last 3 outs in the bottom half, the home half of the 6th inning for the New York Yankees. And Gary Sanchez will get rung up on a fastball down away in the zone. He's caught looking, so make that strike 3. But I think we will call it a night here in just 2 more outs. I've had a great time on stream with you guys. I thank you all for your support throughout the entire stream and just on the channel in general. I really appreciate it. I mean, I never have subscribers, and I have all of you guys who are actively supporting me and joining streams and commenting on videos. It's just awesome. The little community that we've kind of established here is just amazing. I'm so thankful for it. And so thankful for each and every one of you guys. I would not be here without all of you. So I would like to take the moment to thank you all. I do that as we near the end of our streams, each and every live stream. Now, the first pitch to Gardner is a called strike. Second pitch to Gardner is going to be just inside, apparently. I'm not going to argue. Looked pretty close. It's going to miss inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the number 9 batter who wears double ones. The low pitch he will foul back. It's going to be 1-2, and DJ LeMahieu stands on deck. So Atlanta Braves pitching have struck out 3 batters, Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez twice. They've allowed 8 runs with 5 hits through 5 1/3 innings. Bryce Wilson, his 40th pitch, and this will be to Brett Gardner. The Warner waves and moves off. See, right, let me see. Yeah, he just missed it. So back-to-back strikeouts. Just as I said, they've only struck out 3 batters. That's now back-to-back Ks, and that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu for the top of the order. DJ is 5 strikeouts. Because DJ LeMahieu also struck out. So Gleyber once, Gary twice, DJ once, and Gardner once. DJ fouls one off his leg there, but is 2 for 3 with a single and 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Apologies here. He worked a walk in the 3rd. Both times he came up to start the game. He scored in the 1st inning. He singled. 3rd inning, he walked. So Aaron Judge looks to be coming out of this ball game. Mike Tauchman is in the on-deck circle. So it should be DJ, Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks. Mike Tauchman will take over here on out for Aaron Judge. We'll have to see. That hopefully is not injury-related, knock on wood. That's not injury-related. And they're just trying to get Tauchman at bats. There's the righty up. Judge already hit a home run, so give Tauchman the opportunity here as a left-handed batter. 2-1 to DJ. With 2 away, no one on. Runs inside again. It's a 3-1 count. Now, the Rays were throwing up and into the Yankees a lot in that series. Other guys talk about it too. They're kind of like, yeah, this is division rivals. This goes back, a little bit. Past few seasons, there's been a rivalry. Very good. And the Rays pitching was trying to back them off the plate a little bit. I think they sent their message pretty clearly. And DJ LeMahieu works a walk. So he'll get on base. That is the 3rd time he's on base now. He's 1 for 2 with a single, 2 walks, and a strikeout. But a lot of pitches have gone up and into batters in this game from the Braves. Whether that's just a control issue or that's, again, trying to back them off the plate. They have power guys. They have guys who can hit. So I get that you're trying to move them off the plate a little bit. But still, a few hit by pitches in this game already. A few too many. Mike Tauchman hitting .310 with 3 RBIs, and he'll step in with 2 outs. And DJ LeMahieu on first. Let's see here if there's a reasoning out yet for why Judge was pulled from the game. The first pitch to Tauchman is in the dirt. Checks his swing, and let's see what he does here. It is a ball. All right, so I don't know why just say Aaron Judge was taken out of the game, but there obviously is the offensive sub. Mike Tauchman comes in to pinch hit, and he'll foul this one back, so it's 1-1. I don't know if that's an injury thing or if, again, that's just getting reps for Tauchman. And in the later third of this game, with a 5-run lead, you kind of feel comfortable getting someone like that out there because Tauchman does very well. He hits, he can field. Like, this is a good player. It's not, throwing someone in there to throw in. Let's see here. Yeah, no updates as of just yet what the move was. Hopefully that's just like a, hey, just get out there, end this game out for us. 2-1 to Mike Tauchman. Luke Jackson, a right-hander reliever in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. That would be their third pitcher of the ball game if he does indeed enter anytime soon. Wilson closing in on 50 pitches. It's going to be number 49 here. The 2-1 to Tauchman. He'll put it in play and foul down the third base line. 2-2 count, 2 outs. DJ LeMahieu on first. And Mike Tauchman is in. On deck is Aaron Hicks if we get that far into the inning. Here we go. DJ on Tauchman hits it well down the line and just foul. So there you go. He's putting the wood on the ball. He's making contact. I mean, I didn't expect anything less. Tauchman last year stepped up. When we had a lot of injured outfielders, he was really good for New York. He was a guy like Gio Urshela who came in and really took advantage of the role he was given. He's like, hey, I'm seeing playing time. I'm getting starts. I want to make the best out of it. I'm going to show the Yankees that I should be here. I want to be here, and I want to play. Exactly what he did, and what he's continued to do so far with the .310 average and 3 RBIs. He now works a full count, as that's going to miss down and in. So DJ LeMahieu is going to be on the move here with 2 away and the count being full to the now right fielder of the ball game, Mike Tauchman. That's going to miss just outside, and it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. It looks like it'll end it for Bryce Wilson's night. Luke Jackson should come in here as, yes, it goes through a commercial break. So, yeah, there is going to be a pitching change. Just to update you guys, if you did just join, the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th have an 8-3 lead over the Atlanta Braves. A lot of home runs, a lot of runs put up on the board so far. The game's still not even over yet. It's anyone's game. The Braves can come back. The Braves offense has been looking pretty good, a lot better than it did last week. And they've worked walks. They've gone base. They've scored runs, a handful of home runs. I mean, Judge had a solo shot. Voight had a 3-run shot. Marcelo Zuna of the Braves hit a 3-run shot as well. So we're seeing some long balls here. We're seeing good baseball. And Luke Jackson will indeed come in now for Atlanta. As we wait for this commercial break to end, we'll take you around the league for another score update. The Marlins and the Blue Jays still sit at a 4-1 ball game. Toronto up in the top of the 9th. The Nationals and Mets are through 6 completed innings. The Nats holding on to a 1-run lead. It is 2-1 in Flushing. The Royals and Reds are at 3 and 5 in the Reds' favor in the bottom of the 7th. The Orioles came out to a 2-run lead over Philadelphia in the top of the 7th. Baltimore is up 5-3. The Cubs ahead of the Indians 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th. The White Sox and Tigers are through 6.5 innings, with the White Sox winning by 6. It's 8-2 out at Detroit. The Rays have still held on to their 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th against the Red Sox. The Twins and Brewers are through 2.5 innings. Twins up by 3. The score is 4-1. Diamondbacks and Rockies are scoreless through an inning and a half of the game. The Mariners and Rangers are scoreless as they just entered the top of the 1st. And in the middle of the 1st, the Giants and the Astros have also had no runs come across. Luke Jackson is in. He's pitched in 6 games this season, a 1-0 record, a 2.7 ERA, and 6 2/3 innings with 9 hits, 3 walks, and a handful of strikeouts here. He's looking to go ahead and retire the last batter of the inning for New York. 2 outs were retired quickly via strikeouts. Gary Sanchez went down looking. Brett Gardner went down swinging. Then DJ LeMahieu worked a walk. Mike Tauchman pinch hit for Aaron Judge. He worked a walk. So DJ is standing on second. Mike Tauchman picks the lead off of first, and then I'll bring up Aaron Hicks. Now, Hicks has got on base 3 times, has scored 3 times for the New York Yankees tonight. The first time he came up was in the 1st inning, and he reached via an error. A little dribbler back to the pitcher, who made a wide throw, allowed Hicks to reach safely. Aaron singled in the 3rd and later scored, and walked in the 6th and scored as well. This one's going to miss down and away, a fastball at 95 miles per hour. The count's going to be even in 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs with runners on 1st and 2nd. Luke Voight is on deck. He is responsible for a few RBIs this game. He's done very well. A 3-run home run back in the 1st got things going for the Yankees offense, and then he was hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning. This one, a fastball just off the outer edge of the black. It's 2-1 against Aaron Hicks, the switch hitting center fielder, who still will swing lefty, as Luke Jackson is a right-handed pitcher. I was getting ready to say Bryce Wilson again, but he's out of the ball game. Now, the runners on 1st and 2nd are not going to affect Luke Jackson's ERA, assuming they score. Bryce Wilson is responsible for both of them, and a curveball's going to drop in here. The count's now 2-2 with 2 outs to Aaron Hicks. So again, Bryce Wilson is responsible for the 2 batters, or the 2 runners currently on base. The nice curveball right down the middle. Aaron Hicks kind of drops the bat like that was the pitch. And to this point, Aaron Hicks didn't really perform to a crazy extent. He's now got a hit here. He's got on base 3 times. And, he's getting something going. Hopefully, he can kind of pick himself up here and continue to lift off going forward and really hit the ball well. And we want to see something similar with Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres, who are off to a rough start. You can even make the case for Brett Gardner as well. 2-2, 2 on, 2 outs. The Yankees lead by 5 here in the bottom of the 6th. Luke Jackson with the pitch. Curveball in the dirt. It's full count, and let's see if the Yankees score their 3rd walk of the inning. Luke Voight again is on deck. He homered. He lined out to 3rd, and he got hit with a pitch so far tonight. With 2 outs again and full count, the runners are going to take off here. Aaron Hicks puts it in play. It's a dribble to first base. Freddie Freeman will get the ball in, take it himself, and that'll end it for the New York Yankees. It's a 3 unassisted, no runs on no hits for the New York Yankees through 6 innings. The Yankees have an 8-3 lead over the visiting Atlanta Braves. And for me, guys, that is going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who stopped in the stream at one point or another. If you were in here for the entire stream, I thank you so much. And everyone, I want to thank you for your continued support. As always, you're awesome. I could not be here without you guys. I had a lot of fun calling this game live. New York Yankees host the Atlanta Braves. Game 1 of 2 in the set. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.